All right, so let's open the file that we were using last time. And very quick review, guys. We have learned how to use the time value of functions in Excel, yung FB, PV, PMT, rate, and then NPER. We're going to learn more. So very quickly, we learned that in order to evaluate an investment, for example, where we're given the cash flows, of course, we have the initial cash outflow and then the cash inflows. We can use what we did last time was to, the long cut is to convert them into present values. And we know how to make use of the present values, guys, or the future value in order to accumulate them, to sum them, and compute for the NPV, the net present value, or the NFV. In practice, we use more the NPV as compared to the NFV, the net future value. But we can conclude that if the net present value is positive, the NFV will also be positive because they're actually equivalent cash flows. In fact, last time we showed that we can compute for the NFV using the NPV. So here, if you recall, guys, last meeting, we computed for the net future value using the NPV. And the decision rule is that if the net present value or the net future value is positive, then the project is acceptable. We also learned how to compute for the internal rate of return, which is the quote unquote, technically the return of the project. Okay, and here it's 15.47, and the decision rule is that if the IRR is greater than the weighted average cost of capital, then the project is acceptable. Okay, and in certain times there may be a conflict between the NPV and the IRR, and we said that the decision is always to follow the NPV because the NPV is the more theoretically quote unquote correct computation. Because when you compute for the IRR, there are certain assumptions that have to be made in order to compute for this, which we'll be looking at later on when we have examples of capital budgeting. Okay, so there's we also extended this definition to say that the IRR is that rate of return where the NPV is equal to 0. Okay. So notice that if the WACC was also 15.47, okay, let's assume that the WACC is also 15.47, and the IRR is 15.47. Sorry. The WACC is 15.47, and given this cash flow, we will have a WACC, an IRR equal to 15.47 also. Okay, so they're the same. So theoretically, we'll say that the project is acceptable kasi na-meet naman niya yung minimum hurdle rate, which is the WACC, which is 15.47%. However, it will only give us a net cash flow of 0. Okay, so whether the company pushes through with the project or not, we are indifferent to that. There may be other underlying reasons why a company would still want to push through with the project, despite the fact that the computed IRR is the same as the weighted average cost of capital. Okay, I hope that's a very clear summary of what we have discussed so far. Today, we're going to compute for the what we call the EAR. So the EAR is called the effective annual return. So let me contextualize this concept, okay, so that clears natin. Suppose we have 1 million now, and the stated return is 10%. Okay, this is also called the nominal return. Ito yung binibigay na rate ng kunyari ng mga banks or ng mga financial institutions pag humihiram tayo o mag-i-invest tayo. It's always stated in annual terms. So pag nakakita tayo ng interest, ang assumption natin doon, without any qualification, it's always annual. Unless naka-state doon na kunyari 5% semi-annually. Pag may ganong qualifier, then alam natin na semi-annual yan. So ito, guys, this is supposed to be annual. And let's say we're going to invest it in for a period of 30 years. Now, to compute for the future value, assuming that the compounding is annual, ibig sabihin ng annual compounding, isang beses lang siya yung interest i-compute sa isang taon. Okay, so let's compute for this. We can use the FB function to compute for the future value. Okay, then the rate is 10%. Okay, N per is 30 years, comma. PMT, guys, ignore because this is not an annuity. It's just a single cash flow. Present value is 1 million. Okay, then we ignore the type because this is not an annuity. Okay, control enter, we get 17,449,000. So yung 1 million natin at 10% interest rate for 30 years becomes 17.5 million. Okay, however guys, if naka-state na yung compounding semi-annual, ang ibig sabihin nun, 2 beses sa isang taon, i-compute yung interest. Okay, may question ako guys. If semi-annual siya, ibig sabihin 2 beses i-compute yung interest sa isang taon, magkano yung interest rate na gagamitin per computation? Kunyari, ang interest ko computin January 1 and July 1. So 6 months yung difference nun. Ilang percent ang gagamitin na pag-compute sa interest sa January 1, ilan sa July 1? Okay, kindly chat please. Ilan sa January 1, ilan sa July 1? Correct, Eva. Tama, no? 5%. So sa January 1, 5% interest. Sa July 1, 5% interest. So how did we do that? Yung 10%, guys, i-divide natin kung ilang beses magko-compound sa isang taon. Okay, so for this problem, guys, ang magiging interest natin per period will be 10% divided by 2. Tanong, ilang periods yung compounding natin for this problem na 1 million 10% 30 years? In other words, ilang beses magko-compound yung interest natin? Paki-chat please. How many periods will that be? 2 periods? No, for the whole duration of the investment. For the whole duration of the investment. Not only for that year. Yeah, correct. Thank you, Mark. Yeah. Mary, thank you. Yeah, you're correct, no? Tama. 60, guys. 60 times yung pag-compute ng interest. Kasi 2 times a year at 30 years, so that makes 60. So we can now compute for the future value of this. No? Ang future value natin will be negative FB. Ang rate natin will be 10%, and then we have to divide it by 2. Okay? Divide by 2 kasi 5% per period, no? Okay, N per natin will be 30. Sabi nga natin kanina, 30 times 2 dapat yan. So there should be, so let me just show this. Okay? So yung ano natin, yung rate natin will be 5%. And then our N per will be, it should be 60. No? 60. Comma. PMT, wala tayong PMT. Comma. Present value is 1 million. Okay, and then, so we have 18,679. So you can see, guys, that mas malaki yung future value ng ng 2 times tayo nagko-compound sa isang taon as compared to once lang. Okay, so it goes to show, guys, that kung 4 times yung kung quarterly siya, mas malaki yung ina-expect natin na future value. Remember yung power of compounding? And yung dating tinignan natin yung number of times din kino-compound natin. 'Di ba, kinumpare natin yung 40 years at saka 100 years. Yun, magkaiba yung periods, no? Kasi isa 40 years lang, ibig sabihin 40 times tayo nagko-compound. Yung isa 100 times tayo magko-compounding, no? So, pero magkaiba yung nila kasi yung period. Ito technically 30 years sila pare-pareho. But in 30 years time, guys, pag annual, 30 times lang yung compounding. Pag semi-annual, 60 times. Okay, now what I want you to do now is, okay, I'll delete this. Paki-chat, guys, ano yung formula natin dito sa future value dito? What will be our formula here? Okay, so that one formula, then we can copy it hanggang ano lang, hanggang 365. Okay, hanggang 365. There will be another formula for infinite. Okay, so I'll give you a few seconds, guys. Kindly chat. Copy, paste your answer sa chat box natin. Dun sa isang formula lang dito, just one formula. And then we have one formula here, and then copy yung formula natin hanggang daily. Okay, you may start now, please. Pause ko muna. Okay, we have already an answer. Okay, Basti. Okay. So, si Eva, si Basti may answer. Copyin ko yung answer ni Basti dito, ha. Control C. Lagay ko lang dito. Control V. Tanggalin ko muna yung equal sign. Tapos yung kay Eva. Basti, sorry, wala wala nang bawian. Pero bawi yung answer mo. So either may minus ka or may plus. Joke lang. Okay. So may answer tayo dito ni Basti at saka ni Eva at saka ni Mark. So tingnan natin mga answer sila. Kay Mark may negative dito. Okay, let's see their answers, guys. Oops, bakit nag-ano siya? Ayaw matanggal ng equal. Okay. Okay, so let's look at the answers, guys. Okay. Lagay ko muna dito yung answer ni Basti. Okay, Basti, can you please explain your answer? Basti. So let's take a look at this. Yung rate mo, B69, no? And then, okay, tama na Phoenix mo siya, $69. Tapos yung Emperor, B70. Okay? Tapos, wala to, ibig sabihin walang PMT kasi wala naman tayong annuity. And then B68, okay, which is the present value. Okay? So let's see. Control Enter. And then if we copy this down, okay. So notice na pare-pareho lang yung answer, no? Okay, so we should improve this. We should improve this answer, no? Improve pa natin siya. Okay, tapos ito naman, tingnan natin tong kay ano, kay kinito kay Eva, no? Asan na yan? Ay, dito pala. Okay, yung kay Eva at saka yung kay Mark mukhang pareho, no? Tingnan natin yung kay Eva at saka kay Mark. Okay, so it's ang kaibahan lang nila, their difference is that yung isa absolute yung pag-fix siya ng ng formula, yung isa hindi. Okay, let's take a look at this. So dito yung kay Eva, no? Phoenix yung B69. B69 is the annual return divided by B72, which is the number of periods. So that's the rate. And then the Emperor is B70, which is the number of years, times B72, the number of periods. No present value, and present no PMT. The present value is 1 million. So same kay Mark, no? Okay, kay Mark negative. Okay, sorry. Okay. Okay, so, all right. Okay, may comment dito si Basti. Okay. Sir, wait po, it's raining. Okay, so the three of you guys, dali ah. So si Basti, Eva, and Mark. Okay, Mike. So that's plus 2 points, 2 points, 2 points. So this is A, B, and B. This is okay. August 26. To some of you guys, yung mga bonus points nyo, I will have to talk to you kasi hindi ko na-record yung iba, no? So honesty principle na lang tayo para i-incorporate ko dun sa bonus points natin. Okay, so I think we have the correct answer. Okay, both of these are correct. Itong kay Ava at saka kay Mark. Ang ano lang, yung kay Ava, mas maganda kung hindi na natin i-fix yung column ni ano no ng mga numbers natin dito, ng mga cells natin kasi we're going to copy the formula down, so no need to fix the column. I-fix lang natin yung row. But you get the correct answer naman. So so plus 2 points each for you guys, yung tatlo na nag-submit ng answers. So let me Control Z. Ay, hindi. Mali. Okay. So let me delete this. Tapos lagyan ulit natin to ng ano ng okay. So the formula will be negative FB. Okay. Our rate will be 10%, no? 10%. If you fix natin 10%, but it should be divided by the number of compounding per year. Yan. Divided by this one. Okay, comma. Our NPER will be 30 years. Tapos if i-fix natin yung 30 kasi hindi naman magbabago yung number of years talaga, but we will multiply that with the number of compounding per year. Okay, and then comma. PMT, ignore kasi hindi naman annuity to. Comma. And then we have present value, this one. Again, fix this. Fix the row. Okay. And then type ignore guys kasi hindi naman siya annuity. Okay. Control enter. We get 17,449, no? 17,449, and then we copy this down there. Okay, so you can now see guys that these are the correct answers. And we see that if it's daily compounding, malaking difference kaysa sa annual compounding. Diba? 20 million to 17 million to. Kahit any rational investor, of course, would prefer having daily compounding as compared to annual compounding. There was a time, I don't know kung na-mention ko na sa inyo to, there was a time when there was a bank, na bankrupt na siya, no? Yung banko na to, yung Banco Filipino, ang tagline nila, araw-araw interest ng interest. Okay, so I don't know the statistics, pero I'm pretty much sure, I'm confident that because of that tagline, maraming nagpa-patronize ng services ng bank na yun, yung Banco Filipino. Kasi, syempre, kunyari mag-invest ka doon, X number of money, no? Tapos, kung ang compounding niya daily, as compared to just annual, we know that because of the power of compounding, ang laki ng difference ng na magiging compounded amount, accumulated amount. 1 million lang yan, ha? What if you're talking of kunyari malaking amount? Imagine guys, kunyari, ang sabi nila ang winnings daw ni Manny Pacquiao nung huling laban niya 2 billion. Sabihin natin 1 billion na lang. Sabihin natin 1.5 billion, no? 1,500,000. Okay. Kunyari, in-invest ni Manny yan, 1.5 billion. Okay? Kahit na hindi 30 years. O dito lang guys, kunyari 30 years yan, ha? Ang maturity 30 years. Yung 1.5 billion na yan, kung annual compounding lang, in 30 years, 26 billion. Pag daily compounding yan, 30 billion yan. Oh, saan ka pa 4 billion, guys? Di ba? Saan ka pa kukuha, saan ka pupulot ng 4 billion na difference? Okay? So, that's the power of compounding. Ang laki talaga ng ng difference kung maraming beses kino-compound yung natin. Ito, take note, 30 years lang pareho to. Okay, para patas yung comparison natin, 30 years lang pare-pareho silang lahat. Kaso nga lang, yung isa annual, yung isa daily. So we can see here that there's a big difference in terms of compounding yung pera natin when we have more periods na kino-compound natin yung yung amount natin. Okay, so meron pang infinite, no? Ano naman yung infinite? So pag infinite, guys, we make use of ito na exponentiation na to, no? Pag infinite yung compounding. Okay, so let me show you the formula. The formula to compute for the future value, if it's continuously compounded yan. Continuously compounded. So yung continuous compounding, mas malaki pa yung kaysa daily compounding. We call this perpetuity, to infinite compounding. So to compute for the future value, it's equal to FB is equal to PV times E to the RT. Okay. E, guys, E. Now, you must have met this expression before, E. Baka na-meet nyo na ba yan sa math nyo, guys, si E? Paki-chat nga please kung para alam ko kung hindi ko na i-explain o explain ko pa. Okay, good. Na-meet nyo na raw. Okay. So E, guys, is what we call a transcendental number, no? Transcendental number yan, irrational number yan. Ibig sabihin, walang non-repeating, non-terminating number yan. If we can, for example, use a very, very powerful supercomputer and then generate the code in order to have the value of E printed, okay, you will, pwedeng sa bond paper, guys, i-print natin sa long bond paper, long bond paper pa, legal, no? I-print natin font 1, sabihin natin font 1. So sa isang bond paper, tapos back to back pa, no? Tapos mag-stack ka ng bond paper papuntang buwan, papuntang moon. Tapos pabalik. Tapos balik ng Earth, balik ng moon, pabalik-balik, guys. Hindi pa natatapos yung yung pag-generate ng value ng E. Okay, ganun ibig sabihin, guys, ng non-repeating, non-terminating. Pinsan niya si pi, okay? So ito, guys, if you want to generate the value of pi in Excel, pi open and close parenthesis, pi yan, no? Pero truncated na yan. Excel, of course, will not give us the whole. Hanggang lang yata to, hanggang 16 digits lang. Tapos truncated na. On the other hand, CE, guys, CE, okay? Yan, E, no? Okay. Ano sabi dito? EXP. Okay. So this is EXP. It returns E raised by the power of a given number. So E is equal to E to the 1. No? So the value of E to the 1, yan, the very famous Euler's number. Okay, very interesting to number na to, guys, kasi ginagamit to sa golden ratio. Have you heard of the golden ratio? If not, guys, i-google nyo siya, yung golden ratio. Napaka-interesting, guys. This is the golden ratio, no? Very interesting yung topic na to kasi related siya sa E, yung Euler's number. And you can see many in nature follow this, gumagamit ng golden yung number na E, no? Okay. Okay, Renzo, yung E, it's a number, no? Sabi ko nga, parang pinsan ni pi yan. Okay, it's a transcendental number. Ibig sabihin ng transcendental number, irrational number siya. So wala siyang katapusan, hindi siya repeating number. Ano ba ibig sabihin ng repeating number? Kunyari 3.55555, etc. Ayan, repeating yan, ano? Umuulit. Kunyari 3.234, 234, 234, 234. Yan. So that's a repeating repeating number. Itong 35555 repeating yan. Ito. These are repeating numbers. Okay? So non-repeating siya, si E, non-terminating din. Ibig sabihin ng terminating, kunyari 1.5 lang. So, nagtapos yung decimal, it ended. Terminating number to. Ang non-terminating ito. This is what we call a repeating number. Repeating. Tapos ito terminating. Okay, yung E, parang si pi yan. I'm sure you've heard of pi, no? Nagamit nyo sa geometry nyo sa nung other years nyo, no? Tapos ganoon din si E, 2.718288182. Pero ano to hindi ganyan talaga yung ano niyan, yung number niyan kasi trinangkate lang ni Excel. So it's a very long number, long as in walang katapusan and walang pattern. Wala kang makikita na 5555 or 234, 234, 234, walang ganon. So very special tong Euler's, it's called Euler's number, no? From the person who computed this, si Euler. Okay, so yung application nitong ina to guys, minsan hanapin nyo guys yung ano, no? Mark, sabi, hindi po ba, yeah, oo, yung Mark, yung golden ratio, it's a ratio. Okay, may comment dito si Mark, sabi niya, iba yung value ng golden ratio. Yes, okay, so sorry I'm not saying that E is a golden ratio. Ilagay ko dito Si E ginagamit sa sa golden ratio. Okay? E as a number is used in the golden ratio. The golden ratio is different. And then I would encourage you guys to look at sa YouTube, maraming maraming discussions ng the golden ratio. Okay, so kaso hindi yan yung discussion natin ngayon, Okay, so we can now compute for the future value of nitong itong continuous compounding or perpetuity. So this is equal to the present value, which is yung 1.5 billion natin. Bago na example natin, tinaasan natin, times EXP. Kasi exponential, E to the RT, E raised to the RT. So in Excel, that's E, open parenthesis, R times T. Okay, so that's how we do exponentiation in Excel, E to the RT. Okay. So you can see here guys na ang laki ng difference ng ng continuous compounding to the annual, tsaka even the continuous compounding sa daily. Malaki yung difference. So that's around mga 13 million, 12 million. More than 12 million yung difference. Okay, kung pinag-uusapan natin guys yung pera, 12 million guys, So, syempre malaki 'yon, relatively, of course, relatively. Okay, so that's how we compute for the future value for a continuous or continuous compounding or perpetuity. Okay, now you notice guys na ceteris paribus, ibig sabihin nun, ibalikan natin sa 1 million para mas mas manageable yung example natin. Okay? Ceteris paribus, parehong present value, parehong APR, 30 years lahat sila pare-pareho, nagkakaiba lang sa compounding, you get different values of your future value. So, logically guys, syempre, iba yung effective rate pag annual, pag semi-annual, quarterly, etc. Iba yung effective rates nila. Syempre, mas malaking effective rates ng mga bigger numbers, bigger future values. Guys, a minute ko lang yung aso namin. Dali. Okay, apologies about that. Okay, so as I was saying guys, mas malaki yung future value pag mas malaki yung yung compounding per year. So ergo guys, it follows that the rate, yung quote-unquote effective annual rate is higher kasi mas mataas yung future value . So let's compute for the effective rate, So we use the function rate, okay? And per natin, pare-pareho silang 30 years, Okay? So we're comparing it based on the same period of 30 years, comma. Okay, PMT natin wala, ignore. Present value is 1 million. Okay, pare-pareho ulit, comma. Future value is, dito na nagkakaiba, Future value is 72. And then guys, remember that pag ginagamit natin si rate at saka si and per, kailangan tama yung cash flows natin. So may isa sa kanila na negative. Okay. So control enter. So as expected guys, pag isang compounding lang per year, equal lang yan sa APR natin sa nominal rate. But when we copy this down, there, we notice that mas malaki na yung effective annual return ng mga cash flows that are subjected to more than one compounding per year. Definitely guys, kasi we started with computing first for the future value, and you can see that mas malaki nga yung yung future value nila pag more than one compounding per year. Definitely mas malaki yung effective rate nila. So these values guys are called effective annual return, and they will be only equal to the nominal rate or to the APR, annual percentage return, if the compounding is once a year. Yun. Okay, so ito EAR, okay, EAR siya, and pareho lang siya ng APR kung once lang yung compounding. Okay, Mark, sige, may question si Mark.
Sir, is it effective annual return or rate? It says Excel sir, rate.
Okay, actually effective annual rate, effective annual return pareho lang.
Okay.
Others call it effective annual rate, others call it effective annual return. So
Okay,
depende sa context, but they are the same. Okay,
Alright,
thank
so
you, Mark.
thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so pareho lang guys kapag yung one compounding lang, isang compounding per year, si APR, which is the annual percentage rate or annual percentage return, will be the same as effective annual rate or effective annual return. Pareho lang. Pero pag more than one compounding na, okay, like 2 times, 4 times, 6 times, 12 times a year, iba na yung iba na yung mas malaki na yung effective annual rate. Okay? So we can use the formula. There's a formula guys for, okay, ito yung formula, no? Paki-correct lang yung formula. Pakidagdagan lang ng -1. Kasi hindi ko nalagay yung -1 sa, I think, just sa binigay kong file. Or kung may -1 na, good. Okay, so what's the effective annual return or rate is equal to the quantity 1 plus the nominal rate. Then divide natin yung ng periods per year, and then raise to the periods per year, and then -1. Okay, so based on this formula, we can show that this is equal to 1 plus, our nominal rate is 10%, fix this, divided by the number of periods per year, which is this one. So hindi natin i-fix to kasi ikakopy natin yung formula pa baba, variable dapat to. And then raise, shift 6, raise to the PPY, periods per year, and then we subtract 1. So this is the formula to compute for the EAR, effective annual return. Okay, control enter. Then we have this. Okay, so hindi natin pwedeng magamit dito kasi hindi natin pwedeng ma-divide yung text na to. Okay, so you notice guys, not pareho, no? Using the rate function of Excel or using the formula. Yes, Basti? Question? Basti? Did you raise
Hello,
your
sir.
hand? Yes.
Can you yung EAR formula?
Formula, okay. So yung formula natin, nakasulat dito EAR is equal to the quantity 1 plus the nominal rate divided by the periods per year, and then raised to the periods per year, and then -1. Okay, so, oops. Okay, so if we apply that, so it's 1 plus, nominal rate natin is 10%. Okay, i-fix natin to, yung row nito, divided by the periods per year. Ito yung PPY natin, periods per year. And then raise natin to the periods per year, then -1. Okay? Did that answer your question, Basti?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thank you then sa question. I really appreciate questions like that. Okay, so when we copy the formula down, of course, hindi natin pwedeng i-copy hanggang dito kasi wala naman tayong value ng infinite dito no? But we can compute for that. Okay, so ito na guys, yan na yung natin. So notice na tama yung natin. We can even increase that. Increase natin yung okay. Kahit to the 10th 10th place, decimal place, parehong-pareho sila, no? So no problem using the rate function, no problem using the formula function. Now dito, okay, lagyan natin to. Dito guys, paano natin ito i-compute yung formula? Yung perpetuity, yung continuous compounding. So kapag continuous compounding, the formula to compute the EAR, okay, parang nawala tong digital pen ko. Review. Okay. So to compute for the EAR, so this is equal to E to the R minus I. So that's the formula to compute for EAR if it's continuous compounding. No? Okay, so let's apply that. So this will be equal to, so it's exponential, diba? E to the R. Our R is our nominal rate, 10%. And then we subtract 1. Okay, control enter. There. So i-ano natin, dagdagan natin ng decimal place. Okay, so it's exactly the same as using the rate function in Excel. So guys, here we learned that Renzo, sorry, ano yung question mo, Renzo?
Yung formula po, kailan gagamitin if compounding what?
Sorry, again, please, hindi ko yata nakuha.
Wait sir, di ko rin alam paano ko tatanungin. Yung formula po, like
ito?
yung E, oh yeah, yes.
Ito yung formula na to. Okay, so here, kinocompute natin guys yung EAR, di ba? Effective annual rate. Now, sabi natin, yung effective annual rate, that happens because when we have terms, when we have compounding, that's more than once per year. Kaya nga meron tayong semi-annual. Ibig sabihin, 2 times natin kino-compound yan. Pag ganun yung ginagawa guys, definitely mas mataas yung future value niyan. And since mas mataas yung future value niyan, kasi nga, you're compounding more than once a year, ang effect nun guys, 2 times tayo nag-i-interest per year. And remember, yung interest, nag-earn pa rin ng interest yan. So interest upon interest upon interest upon interest. As compared to once lang tayo magko-compound ng interest, no? So ito 30 times lang magko-compound yung interest natin. Ito 60 times, 30 divided by 2. So how do we compute for so sabi ko nga, magkakaroon tayo ng EAR, effective annual rate, kung we have more than one compounding per year. Okay, so how do we compute for that? We can use the rate function in Excel, okay, which is just rate, no? Diba? Yung rate function natin, so hinahanap sa atin dito yung ilang periods yan. So pare-pareho silang 30 years, di ba? Tapos PMT wala dito. Present value is yung 1 million natin. And then this one, future value is yung future value niya dito. But just take note that dapat yung isa positive, yung isa negative. Okay, every time na ginagamit natin guys yung rate at saka si enter, take note of the differences in the cash flows. Dapat yung sign nila. Sa formula, ano yung formula ng pag-compute ng EAR? It's just 1 plus the nominal rate divided by the periods per year, close, and then raised to the periods per year minus 1. Okay, so we just strictly follow the formula. So that's 1 plus B69. This is the nominal rate, okay, divided by the periods per year, raised to the periods per year minus 1. Okay, and sabi natin, yung EAR natin will be the same as your APR if we only have one compounding per year, so annual. Pag annual guys, pareho lang. Wala tayong difference ng APR or EAR. Okay, there will only be differences in your APR and EAR if you have more than one compounding per year. Okay. Yeah. Okay, so Renz, did that answer your question?
Yes po, thank you.
Okay, sige. Kung hindi ko nasagot, ano ano mo lang, ask mo lang ha. Kasi baka I might not have been able to answer your question. Okay, thank you so much guys for those who are asking questions. I really appreciate that. So, kasi it tells me a lot of things. Huh? Okay, so na-compute natin guys yung continuous. Pag continuous compounding, yung EAR niya is equal to E to the R, this is your nominal rate minus 1. And then, meron pang isang way, we can use the effect function. Effect. So, yung effect function, okay, sabi ito, returns the effective annual interest rate. Ayan. So, meron ding effect function sa Excel. So, you're asked for the nominal rate and then the N per Y or PPY, number of periods per year yung compounding. So, nominal rate natin is 10%. We fix this, comma, our PPY or N per Y is this one. Yan. Okay, Control Enter. And then we just copy this down. Okay, of course, wala na to. Okay. We cannot use the effect function here kasi wala namang text to eh. We can just use this one. So we cannot compute for the continuous effective annual return using the effect function. Okay, so you notice guys na if we increase the decimal places here, pare-pareho lang yan. Okay, so exactly the same. Okay, so here guys, natutunan natin kung paano i-compute yung EAR, effective annual return. Again, when does this happen? Nangyayari to guys kung yung compounding natin is more than once a year. Kasi may mga transactions na semi-annual, quarterly. Okay, katulad ng yung next lesson natin guys is amortization ng amortization table. Ang ano nun, ang compounding niya is monthly kasi kaya 12 times per year. Okay? All right. So this ends our discussion on this worksheet. Any questions with this one, guys? Or any topic here? If you have any questions, guys, pwede nyo akong i-chat kahit outside this time, no? For clarification, I will appreciate that. I-PM nyo na lang ako. Okay, so let's now go to this one. Mag-amortization tayo, no? Nakapag-ano na ba kayo, guys? Have you... sandali, dito muna. Itong timeline lang i-discuss lang natin. Ina-amplify lang natin yung diniscuss natin just a while ago. So ito diniagram ko lang dito guys yung nangyayari dun sa more than one compounding. Kapag annual compounding guys ito, so the interest is computed once per year. So that's 10%, di ba? And ilan yung compounding? 30 years, 30 periods. Okay? Pag semi-annual naman, ito 2 times per year. So yung rate per period natin will be 10% divided by 2. Kasi 2 times per year yung compounding natin. And then yung number of periods natin will be 30 times 2. Okay, so that's 60. Ito yung tinanong ko sa inyo kanina. Pag quarterly naman, compounding per year is 4 times. So apat na beses yung kino-compute yung interest. So dito may interest tayo. So this becomes part of the amount. So pagdating dito may interest na naman. May interest yung previous interest. So yan ang nangyayari guys, no? na interest on interest on interest. Kaya nga iba na yung effective annual return niya. So this is now ang return na gagamitin natin will be 10% divided by 4. So that's 2.5. And then the periods will be 30 times 4 na. No? So that's 120. Okay, so in-illustrate lang dito sa timeline natin. Okay, so then we go here. There will be 2 parts to our amortization table. Isa lang matatapos natin ngayon, yung isa maano natin next meeting. So let me share with you this URL sa about pag-ibig. Okay. Control V. Okay. Yung HDMF, no? Home Development Yata and Mutual Fund. I forgot the meaning of HDMF. Yung pag-ibig yan. By law, guys, pag nagtatrabaho na kayo later on, required na mayroon tayong monthly contribution, no, sa HDMF. Okay? Tapos you can loan. Kunyari, later on, aalis na kayo sa poder ng parents nyo and mag-aasawa na kayo, then you will live with your husband or wife, then you decide to loan sa pag-ibig, okay, para sa bahay nyo, you can do that. And let me show you yung first yung FAQ, yung frequently asked questions. So dun sa frequently asked questions, ito. If you open that, ito. Let's take a look at the frequently asked questions housing loan. Okay, so meron ditong ano, no? What can I do with the Pag-ibig Housing Fund? We will not look into this. Kayo na lang bahala, guys, bumasa. But this is just a practical application of the time value of money concepts. We'll take a look at this. Number 3, how much can I borrow? Sabi dito sa Pag-ibig, you can borrow up to 6 million. However, kunyari yung amount ng house na bibili nyo or papagawa is 6 million, hindi lahat yun hindi lahat mahihiram. Dapat may equity tayo doon. And then what are the interest rates? So depende sa term, may 1 year, 3 years, 5 years, up to 30 years. So you notice, guys, na the longer the borrowing term, the higher is the interest. Well, this is consistent with the principle of risk and return. Kasi syempre, the lender, in this case, si Pag-ibig, will assume a greater amount of risk kung mas mahaba yung term ng loan. No? Kung 30 years, 9.875. Kung 15 years, the rate is 7.875. We'll be using this. Kunyari, maglo-loan tayo. So 15 years, gagamitin natin itong stipulated na interest, 7.875. Okay, let's go here. Dun sa isang URL na sinare ko sa inyo, this is what we call a housing loan affordability calculator. So, yung drop-down drop-down menu, let's ask how much can you borrow based on the value of the property. Okay. And then let's assume that the estimated value of the property is 5 million. So, i-type nyo 5 million dito. And then, ilang years? Repayment period. 15 years tayo. 15 years. And then, preferred our pricing natin, 15 years. And then, naka-stipulate na dyan yung 7.875. Okay, then, when we do that, sinasabi dito ni Pag-ibig na you can approximately loan if the market value, if the value of the house or house you're loaning is 5 million, ang mahihiram lang natin 4.5 million. Ibig sabihin nun, yung 500 million, which is 10%, guys, 500,000 will be your equity. So, dapat may ilalabas din tayong amount. Hindi lang lahat yan iso-shoulder ni Pag-ibig. Tapos, sabi dito, dapat daw may gross monthly income tayo na 121,943. Yan, according to the affordability calculator, based on their estimates, for us to be able to afford yung loan na 5 million, which is actually just 4.5 million, we need to have a gross monthly income estimate to at 121,000. Okay, let's copy this in principal and interest. Let's copy that, guys. Then copy natin dito. Babalikan natin to later on. Yung 42682 na yan. Okay, so kindly copy, guys. Paki-insert na lang ng mga rows, guys. Dun sa mga parang hindi yata kompleto yung nabigay ko sa inyo, no? So dapat may loan principal. So let's fill this up. 'Di ba mag-loan tayo ng 5 million? Okay, 5 million, guys. 5 million yung ilo-loan natin. Down payment is 10%. Okay, so ibig sabihin hindi lahat ng 5 million malo-loan natin. 10% nun dapat equity natin. Tayo mag-raise nun. So the amount to finance is the 5 million amount multiplied that by 1 minus the equity. So 90% lang ang ipapaloan sa atin, which, as we know, this is 4.5 million. Okay, i-flash ko lang sandali yung formula. Baka masyadong mabilis yung pag-discuss ko. Okay. Okay, question so far, guys? 4.5 million. Okay. So yung annual interest rate, nakuha natin to 7.875. 7.875%. Okay. Number of years, sabi natin, di ba, 15. Okay. And then since sa Pag-ibig, guys, ang pagbayad ng interest niyan, pagbayad ng amortization is monthly. So 12 periods per year. Okay. So let's compute for the magkano yung periodic rate natin? Ang periodic rate natin will be, okay, periodic rate is the annual rate divided by the number of compounding per year. Okay? Yan. So this is the monthly interest, no? 0.6563. Okay, di ba kailangan i-ano natin, since this will be compounded on a monthly basis, dapat i-divide natin yung interest natin by 12, and the total periods will be what? 15 years times 12. Okay, 180. Okay? All right. I'm going to give you 1 minute, guys. Pakilagay dito, paki-chat, guys, kung magkano yung magiging monthly amortization natin based on this loan of 4,500,000, 7.875 yung interest, 15 years. How much will be our monthly amortization? You chat the formula and then the value. Okay, 1 minute, guys. Time to exercise. Ready? Timer starts now. Go. Okay, time's up. So meron tayong four answers here. Eva, Mika, so Eva. Okay. So, sorry, Bas, may question ka pala dito, no? So, we have one answer from Eva, no? Copy natin yung answer ni Eva. So, Eva, paki-share yung answer mo sa Eva. Okay, so I'll copy this and then I'll recognize Basti, you have a question.
Sir, I just wanted to see lang po yung total periods formula lang po.
Sorry, dali Okay. Which one? Sorry. Total periods.
We got one.
Oh, ito kasi 'di ba 15 years. Tapos ilang beses magbabayad ng ng amortization? 12 times, 'di ba?
Okay.
Ang compounding natin 12
Opo.
times. Monthly kasi
Thank
siya.
you.
Okay. Sino pa may question? Itong periodic rate is simply the interest rate divided by the periods, no? Okay, so answer ng Ava to, no? PMT. So tama, PMT yung gagamitin natin, guys. 'Di ba pag amortization, this is your PMT. Okay, so compare natin answer natin, ha. So negative PMT, negative para positive yung makukuha nating answers kasi positive yung mga natin amounts dito natin. Ano yung rate natin? Okay. Although, guys, our rate is 7.875, alam natin na dapat ang gagamitin natin dito kung ilan yung compounding natin, no? So since this is monthly yung pagbayad, guys, yung amortization natin. So dapat yung rate natin should also be monthly. So we should be using the periodic monthly rate in B10. And then comma, NPER natin is, what's our NPER? Monthly din dapat, no? It's not 15 years, it's 15 times 12. So we should be using 180, comma. PV natin, guys, is yung 4.5 natin, yung 4.5 million. Okay? So that one. Ignore the future value, wala namang future value. Okay? Or if you want to put the type, so pag ganyang mga loans, guys, annuity ordinary yan. So dapat 0 to. Okay, so since this is 0, we can also just ignore that. So up to B6. Okay, so there. So the amortization is 42,680.24. And then, kita nyo to, di ba? Okay, so Ava got it correct. So Ava, I'll 2 points to you, no? Meron ka ba dito? Hindi. Saan na yun? Ito. Okay, so dagdagan ko lang ng 2. Okay, so 42,680, guys, that's what was given to us by Pag-ibig. Ito. Ayun, 42,680.24. Okay, so we can now say that kaya natin i-compute yan, yung sinasabi nilang principal. Yung monthly amortization lang kasi may mga dinadagdag sila dito. But that we won't be using this. We'll use this 42,680.24. Okay, so let's finish this. All right. Any questions about this, yung mga amounts na to? Any questions? Okay, no questions? Sige, let's proceed. Now, nakagawa na ba kayo dati ng monthly amortization? Not monthly, amortization table. Paki-check nga please. Have you done this before? In Excel? Okay, yes, good. Okay, so nagawa nyo na to. Siguro, but siguro hindi nyo ginamit yung function ni Excel, ano? Maybe you use the formula. Okay, so okay lang yun. So, ibig sabihin, alam nyo na, no? Alam nyo na. The only difference here is that, okay, not sure. Pag hindi sure, malamang hindi nyo pa nagamit yan. Kasi syempre, kung nagamit nyo na dati yung PMT, for example, you would have, marirecall nyo yan na nagamit ng dati namin yung PMT function ni Excel. So, maybe you used the formula before. Di ba may formula tayo? Naalala nyo to? Ito yung formula ng PMT. This one. This is the formula for PMT. We could compute for it using this one, but matagal pa. So, bakit hindi lang natin gamitin yung technology for that function? All right. So, let's now create our, madali siya guys, pag Excel lang kaysa sa i-compute natin. So at month 0, pagka yung month 0 guys, yung nag-loan tayo, wala pang payment yan. So wala pang interest payment, wala pang principal payment. And so ang principal balance natin will still be 4.5 million. Okay. There. Okay, we're building up now our amortization schedule. So at beginning of month 1, magbabayad na tayo, no? Magkano ibabayad natin? Itong annuity natin na 42,680.24. Okay, so ito yung ibabayad natin 42,680.24. Let me $42,680.24. So this amount, guys, a certain percentage of that will go to interest payments, and some will go to principal payments. Siyempre, from the perspective of the borrower, gusto natin mas malaki na pupunta sa principal. Why? Kasi pag nababawasan na mas malaki yung principal, mas lumiliit yung interest. Okay, so let's compute. Okay, the interest, guys, will be based on the balance principal. So far, ang balance ng principal natin is 4.5 million. Okay, and we will not fix that kasi we're going to copy the formula down. So nagbabago yung natin, yung principal balance. No? So we multiply this by the rate, no? And it should be the monthly rate. Kasi monthly yung payments natin. So we're going to use the 7.875% divided by 12. So this one. And then we're going to fix this. So that will be our interest for the first payment. Okay, so ibig sabihin guys, yung first payment natin sa first month, which is 42,680. Okay. So formula text. Okay. Ito yung formula natin. Okay, 29,000. That's if we get the ratio. Okay. Halos 70%, no? 70% sa first month mapupunta kay kay interest. So yung mapupunta kay principal is just the difference. So ito yung ibabayad natin. Okay, fix natin yon minus the interest payment. So the balance of the two, 13,148.99, that's the payment that will go to the principal. Okay, so sa first month, guys, malaki yung mapupunta sa interest. Okay. In fact, that will be the biggest kasi this is the time sa first month payment when the previous principal is at the biggest. Kasi over time, liliit yung principal, liliit therefore yung interest payments natin. So how much will be the principal at the end of month 1? It will be yung previous balance natin minus yung binayad natin sa principal. Okay, I'll pause for a few seconds for you to digest yung formula natin and entertain questions in case there are some questions about our model, clarifications. Enter natin to. You should be getting 4486. Okay, pause muna ako guys. Paki-chat naman kung clear so far. Sana maka 20 plus respondents tayo. Any questions or is the discussion clear so far? Paki-chat please. Kung clear. Okay, target natin guys, respondents 20 plus. Nakikita nyo ba guys kung ilan yung nag-chat so far sa screen? Do you see it? Yung bar sa Zoom. Ay, how will you answer nga pala? Nag-chat kayo. Unless mag-unmute kayo. Okay, so far 14 guys, 15. Okay, malapit na. 20 plus guys, 20 plus respondents. $17 respondents so far. I hope we have more. Okay, thank you. A little more, guys. Konti na lang. 18 na, 18 respondents. Goal natin 20 plus. Okay. 10 na wala, 10 nag-disappear. 19, malapit na. Malapit na. Okay, naka-20 tayo. Thank you so much. Thank you for your responses. Would have been better kung 28, no? Kung lahat nag-respond. Okay, so dali. Okay, clear. Check ko lang kung mga ano nyo. Yes, clear. Okay, good. Okay, thank you. Thank you so much. Okay, so ilang periods natin? Ilang periods yung payment natin? Di ba 180? Kasi 15 times 12. So i-plot muna natin yung month natin dito. Okay, so you know what to do guys. Home, fill, series. So columns natin. So I highlighted 0. Gusto natin mag-increment ng 1 hanggang 180. Okay, so okay. There, hanggang 180 na tayo. Okay, so we can actually copy this formula. No? Pag kinopy natin to, unang-una pababa. No? Check muna natin. So check natin kung tama yung formula natin. So this is 4486, yung previous principal balance, multiplied by the monthly return, monthly rate, interest rate. So tama to. So yung principal payment natin will be 42, this one, minus the interest, tama. And then this one, the month end natin will be the previous principal minus the principal payment. Okay. So take note guys, dito, bumaba yung interest payment, ano? Tapos tumaas yung principal. So this is what happens. Every period guys, bumababa yung interest. Kasi fixed naman yung interest rate natin, pero yung principal balance natin bumababa. Okay, so pag bumababa yung interest, tataas yung principal kasi pare-pareho lang naman yung ibabayad natin per month, no? 42,680. So pag bumababa yung interest, binabawas natin sa monthly amortization yung interest, lalaki yung principal. Okay, in fact guys, yung payment natin for the second month, this one, divided by 42.680. So naging 68 na lang, 68% na lang. Kanina 69 something percent. No? So obviously guys, lumiliit yung interest, no? Lumalaki yung principal. So let me just highlight that. Tapos sa dulo guys, yung kita nyo yung ano yung crosshair na yan. Double click natin, then we get the final ano there. So we expect that at the end, okay, wala na tayong principal. So since wala na tayong principal, syempre, the following ano, wala nang interest, wala nang babayaran, no? Wala nang babayaran kasi wala na tayong utang. So 180 na bayaran natin. Okay, if we add guys the total interest, so add natin quick shortcut out equal to, okay, then copy this. So for the whole 15 years guys, for the whole 15 years, ang ano natin, ang interest payment is 3.18 million. Ang binayad natin sa principal, syempre yung 4.5 million. Okay, ang laki na interest. Now, kung gawin natin ano to guys, gawin natin kunyaring ano, gawin natin 30 years, no? So for purposes of example lang, gawin natin 30 years to. 30 years, tapos magkano yung interest rate ng 30 years? Kunin natin dito guys. Okay, so I'll copy this. Control C. As a reference natin. Ito na pala, no? Pinapi ko na. Sorry. So pag 30 years, it's 9.88 ba? Let me just check. 9.875. Yan, okay? 9.875. So ililink natin, link natin to dito is equal to 9.875. Okay. So ibig sabihin niya guys, dapat 360 yung ano natin, no? Notice na bumaba yung monthly amortization natin. Pero tumaas yung periodic rate natin, 0.8229, kanina 0.6 something lang. Tapos ito, gawin natin tong, okay, gawin natin tong 360, no? Home, fill, series, okay, columns 1 up to 360. 360 periods, okay? Ay, hala. What happened? Fill, series, columns, 360. Okay. Tapos na siguro. Yan, 360. Tapos, same formula lang tayo, no? Tanggalin natin to. Copy down. Okay. There, no? So 30 years to, no? 30 years at 9.875%. Yung total interest payment natin will be of course higher, 9.5 million. Ito. Okay? So yung inutang natin 4.5 million, pero yung interest natin guys 9.5 million. Okay, so makikita natin dito guys yung power ng compounding, no? Okay, so yung interest natin ang taas. 30 years kasi, so that means 360 periods. Mas mababa yung monthly amortization natin, pero 360 times mag-i-incur ng interest. No? That's why we are having here 9.6 million. Okay. So it's already time guys. Let me just summarize. So next meeting, ang gagawin natin, we're going to create a dynamic amortization schedule. Ibig sabihin, pag binago natin isa dito, especially pag binago natin number of years, dapat automatically yung amortization table natin, mag-ano lang, either magko-contract siya or mag-expand based dun sa number of years natin. Okay, and then yung computation should be correct also. Okay, so exciting yun, no? So, gagawa tayo ng amortization table na dynamic. I'm sure hindi nyo pa ginagawa yan. Okay, so ang papalitan lang natin guys, yung number of years, no? So, yung number of years, dapat ililink natin tong interest rate dito sa table natin dito. So, kunyari, pag sinabing, ang gagawin natin number of years guys, magda-drop down menu tayo, ang pwede lang, yung 1, 3, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Okay, so lalagay tayo ng data validation dito. Lalagyan natin to ng data validation. Okay, so this is now combining yung finance, guys, at saka yung modeling sa finance, at saka using the features of Excel, no? In order to come up with very dynamic models. In this case, time value of money application. Okay, thank you so much, guys. Maraming salamat for your patience. Thank you so much for